Okay, so this was quite a good game. Ottomans versus Juji's Legacy. "30 minutes. So about medium time-wise. I'll speed through the introduction as well. It's pretty standard. Got a decent number of sheep. Trade network going up. Nearly take out their scout, but not quite. As I say, the start of the game is fairly standard, so I'm going to speed through a little bit. Making sure that you're on stone nice and early. It's basically as soon as you get to feudal age, so that you're not wasting too much time without that military school helping you out in terms of units. Doing quite well up here in terms of income per minute. I'll slow it down now. So they're starting to create walls already. Obviously you need to be aware of where your scout's going, so I was just about to walk straight into his base. That was because I saw this up here and I presumed that his base a little bit further up, but apparently not. Next stage already. So again, because I'm rushing Castle Age, I'm actually putting already 13 people on this. If they start raiding me early, then I don't have much to defend. It's very hard for Ottomans, as I say, to defend early game, or attack early game. In fact, I never attack early game. I sometimes use spearmen just as kind of scouts to see what's going on. The other thing I've done this game, as soon as I saw them putting the wall up, is, and this is obviously a bit cheeky and a bit of a weird tactic to be honest, but put 2 archery ranges. Again, my favourite unit is the Janissary to kill villagers. Put 2 archery ranges on the corners of the map, such that they can feed in not a lot of troops, but some troops just to be annoying. And I do actually see them building up a force there. Yeah, and this little load of very annoying archers. But I'm a bit slow on moving my villagers, unfortunately. In fact, they do a pretty good raid with just a few archers, essentially. Again, Ottomans are really weak early game, and I always struggle, especially against the English early game. As soon as you got kind of Janissaries, you need to start creating them. Yes, I've got a couple of pikemen, but they're very easily wiped out by a decent number of archers. I'm not actually using these units yet, but they needed to get there before the wall was up so that they could... There we go. That's what I mean by being a bit slow with the old stone. I create this tower. It's not... I think, on kind of retrospect, perhaps it wasn't the best idea. And that's what I mean about these pikemen being a bit pointless against a load of archers. I mean, you know, kind of useful to have, but it's not actually going to help that much. They're just going to get killed very quickly. This is what I mean about Ottomans being particularly weak early game, especially because might be partly my fault. Yeah, as soon as you get that mangonel, then you start to get back in here. You can start to actually have a serious defense against archers. And then I just kind of take the bashing ram ass eventually, although I lose a fair amount of units on doing so. But now that finally that attack is just about failed. But again, it's a fairly close run thing, and they do end up kind of setting fire to the building. Do quite well, considering the kind of limited number of units that they're using to cause damage and annoy me. – 14 minutes in. It's about 18 in. In all the other games I've been able to build up a decent force, and so early game about now it's just survival. You don't have enough. Also, the other potentially useful thing is to keep a villager or two up in their base. This can be quite useful. Because you can build up, for example, you know, eventually barracks and siege workshop, and just be feeding them into really annoying soft kind of targets. So you see, for example, gold mines, ideal soft targets, and this is where perhaps this person might notice. Building a town centre just next to the mine that I'm mining. I double up on town centres on this one. Again, I only put one on it though, so it's not kind of, don't have it as priority. He's being a bit slow in terms of allocation here. There you go, he's realised now. And I'm starting, as you can see, to feed in Janissaries. Feeding in Janissaries, well, I obviously am behind a wall here, but I don't see it, but I push people off this mine. I mean, you know, it's not fantastic, but it's doing a little bit, putting a little bit of pressure on to show them that I'm here and that they're not going to have a completely easy ride. I'm doing quite well on income per minute. Oh, no I'm not, sorry. I misread that. No, I'm not actually. No. I'm quite well on gold, but that's about it. Let's reveal all and see what's going on. So they've, looks like, just doubled up on town centres, creating a decent army, palace guard and veteran crossbow infantry. Still haven't noticed the archery range within the walls. I don't remember what happens here. Does this work? Quite sure where he's set to go. Oh, he's set to go too far. That's annoying. Yeah, so if I was paying more attention, that could have been quite good. Again, just being a bit annoying, basically. This was a bit silly. I should have gone here, or I should have gone here. they obviously see something's up, at this point presume what I've done what I have done. But that's fine. So they are now taking out the archery range. Doesn't really matter. Right, I've got the next stage going, and I do something. I didn't quite do what I normally do. This time I've just decided to take a perch on this kind of on top of this cliff here, with the hope that, to be completely honest, I don't actually know if the hill gives you an advantage. I mean, it should, but in the hope that I can kind of overlook and also protect this gold mine, and also have people kind of going around both ways from up here, from this kind of stronghold up here. It's also slightly annoying to get to. Not quite sure if that was a good idea or not, to be completely honest. It might have been more sensible to be defensive or aggressive. It's not really doing, but then it does defend the gold mine, and it kills, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, something like that. Fair few people. That's good. So whilst this is going on, I presume... Oh, I'm a bit slow on upgrading here. Also a bit slow on getting the janissaries in here. Yeah, I am a bit slow on... I've actually got janissaries, but I'm not creating them. Need to be careful about that. It becomes a bit of a waste. I'm good on gold. I'm always worried about how much gold I'm getting, because I always, quite often, if I lose, it's because I'm not able to get enough gold. Again, dominating the map quite well, even though obviously they've done well to put up walls everywhere. Very much doing my standard tactic of trying to be everywhere, essentially, and make sure that if I'm attacking, it's not only in one location. And you're trying to, always kind of testing as well soft targets, so this huge gold mine is it's an obvious one. I'm aware that that's there as well, so for the future you need to kind of keep an eye on that, because they'll run out of gold in this area quite soon, I'd suggest. Starting to put together a decent force. Those pikemen are just the ones that I created with the 1 or 2 early military schools that I didn't change. So they've only just gone to Imperial Age. So I've got now, in this force, they're not upgraded yet. Yeah, not quite upgraded yet. I think they are in a minute. These are elite men-at-arms. They're doing actually really well at income per minute on food. Oh, and so I'm kind of realising that and putting a load of farms up. Makes sense. Okay, good. They should have attacked me by now, to be honest. 23, 24 minutes in. This is quite clever. They do manage to get away with that quite well. I've forgotten to upgrade the outpost such that it's not really very useful as a defensive tool. I then stay here for probably too long, because I'm kind of doing things on the base and not very good at doing two things at once. I should be upgrading at the same time. I think I do eventually. So let's reveal or see how they're responding to that. They've got a reasonable force here, but they've only got 2 nested bees. I think that might be the issue for them. Might be a issue for them, because nested bees are incredibly strong. But you do need a fair few of them in order to meet this kind of force. Already with that little attack they've done some decent damage, and so my priority always is to get the nested bees. Obviously when they try and convert you, obviously run, nothing else to do. Leave the mangonels firing as they want. Turn back. Concentrating on the nested bees even at the expense of the mangonels. Mangonels can all be destroyed. Much more important to get the nested bees. Mangonels do some decent damage on those archers anyway. Again, Janissaries, they're elite now, I see. Janissaries doing really well against cavalry. They're always excellent against cavalry. I've now taken out their monk with the relic. That's always good. And the other one. Reinforcements coming through. Tower going up. Tower was a random decision, to be honest. You don't necessarily need the tower. It's just, you know, if you see a load of, allows you to see villages and go after soft targets. What I'm doing here is I'm going round the side, again looking for soft targets, but I'm using this one kind of guy as a scout to see where any of those soft targets are. They haven't, it is always really in this game the first person to attack, and they haven't started to attack yet. I would suggest that was perhaps not sensible. And I've now found a fairly soft target down here, so I presume shortly I'd go for that. I don't have any monks. Perhaps I should have monks in here to try and... Doesn't really matter. I accept that there are going to be losses. As I say, my technique is very much to just be attacking all at once, if I can. Many kind of different approaches as possible. But also focusing on the soft targets, so if... Yeah, I should have protected the mangonel a bit more, but it doesn't really matter. If they're going after the mangonel, let's just ignore that and go after the very obviously soft target here. At the same time, I think I'm right in saying, yeah, I basically just, I presume that they might be at this gold mine, so I start sending Janissaries there. They're slightly foolish, and for some reason they send the villagers towards my Janissaries, which is probably not the best idea. Does not help their cause. Again, I'm starting to just feed infantry in different places, including from here, I think, or in a minute. Maybe I'll do that in a minute. And this is their infantry going round as well. And in a minute I kind of come through here a little bit. This is where kind of upgrading matters, right? Because they came into, although they're elite, the other problem is that they're relying on cavalry, and this force is particularly good against cavalry. So I'm able to get a decent elite force kind of before they are, really. They've got nested bees, which is quite clever, defending this load of villages. And actually the Janissaries are not good against any siege equipment. And they're not even firing in it, so they are now. But I'm hoping, in terms of simple numbers, it's a numbers game sometimes, should have sent these there as well. And there you go, that's where I start feeding in infantry. And it's amazing, the first attack hasn't been destroyed yet. A couple of infantry units going around and killing the farmers, ideal. I don't know whether I've destroyed the nested bees, or whether it's... yeah, I must have destroyed it. Must have just been the numbers, presumably. And then they're gonna really struggle now. They should have maybe kind of escaped, but already they're having real problems. I'm basically going through their base without much opposition at all. And I've essentially guessed on where their units are. I've blocked them getting that gold. I will in a minute block them getting this gold because I notice these few, and I've blocked them getting this gold. So they're in a bit of a mess. The other thing is obviously to watch out for the trade posts, because they can get gold obviously from trading. I think these are now, yeah, they're planning to go through and go to the farms. And once you've taken out, you know, as many villages as possible, then you basically won the game. Because you can just be continuing to send in troops, and you don't even need to, you don't actually need to worry too much about kind of getting the right siege equipment together or whatever else. There's no way, if you're dominating the map such that they're unable to get gold, that they can defend. Yeah, it's quite a good game. The example is how good the Janissaries are against cavalry. Elite lancers. His archers are quite good. The elite men at arms are really necessary to soak up archer rounds, otherwise you can get a problem. It does start to become a problem. And there we go. Good game.